I know this is a very excellent event, but I was asked what to talk about. So take some thinking to really what to talk about. If talk about what I do at work at Griffith, there's too much more to talk about. So I was thinking today, just pick on something that I was involved recently with my community. So, so I focus on as a community care as the topic, and on the organization we mentioned called Oriental Care. It's a rather recent, rather new sort of organization. It's all started with my mom had a stroke 4 years ago. So when mom had a stroke, the everyday life at home changed. Originally, everybody goes to work, everybody come back home, but things change. You can't go to work as you wanted, you can't come back home as you wanted, dinner's ready, or those sort of things. So you have to think. So in my home household, we think quite a bit. We try to access community care, find something for my mom, but it's very difficult. It's almost not there. If you go to apply for government funding, that could effectively take you 3 or 4 years. So nothing there. So we're thinking, we'll look at a community care sort of thing. I just put up this slide just to justify what I said with the aged care sort of thing. If you look at this slide, basically said we are getting older, and there are many people getting older, not only us and not only mom. So with aged care at this moment in Australia where we are, I give you this slide to show you we effectively, officially only started 1997. But until last year also, there are 10 different evaluations and plus the Royal Commission last year. So there are enormous issues with aged care. It doesn't matter who say what, but it's difficult to access and difficult to use. And that's actually primary problem more for residential care. We are not alone in Australia in terms of aged care, and this slide gives you a global problem there. Everywhere there is problems, but what are the problems? I mean, people are so smart. There are so many people, and then we can do a lot of things. Why? If you look at, I put a few points here. Basically, there are not enough facilities, there are not enough funding, and there are too many people who want it. So that's the issues there. So this is a slide I take from my home China, where you could see the number of people there who are getting older, and there is that sort of curves keep going up. So what we did was that how we do inside the Oriental community. The community are relatively young. There is no existing blue cares, churches, Western missions. There's no such thing. And the West immigration, like my mom, if you can, mom, it's getting tough, can we go to aged care? No way. She wouldn't go. So they mostly, a few things actually stop them go. First, they're afraid. They don't know what are there. Second, they can't communicate. Without communication, you can't really do anything. And third, you probably wouldn't think of it, is the food. The first food they eat in the morning is different from the Western food. The lunch, the dinner is different, and their tummy is different. If you force them to eat, then they don't feel well. So all those issues, so what we do, so we were thinking, we don't have a church, we don't have a city hall, we don't have even community center, we don't have anything, but we've got to start somewhere. So we started a few things. We started to work with others to set up the aged care. That's the Senior Helpers Brisbane. They have a national setup, and they are very big internationally in America and in in Canada, a few other countries. So we work with them to set up our own. So that's Senior Helpers Brisbane, that's the aged care. It's a home care taking advantage of the government's home care packages. There's sort of thing. So we're doing very well there. The others is disabled people. In my own community, I have the feel when family has a disability people, they don't seek support. They often look after themselves and they don't even want to tell people. That's become difficult these days here. If you have a job to go, if you have to buy a house, you have a mortgage, you have all those, you can't do that. So what we do, so with disability, it's even more difficult. So we started with working with the government, work with the organization you probably all know, but for those who might not know, NDIS, that's the National Disability Insurance Scheme. It's one of the best schemes that you can really sort of access. We've been doing this for over 3 years now. We serve almost 350 hours now per week for my community. And this is the best scheme and it almost fulfill the need at this moment. So I'll just leave these basic information here. Anybody has questions, I'm quite happy to answer.